motherfucker, I've been mortified, fortified, feeling like a Mordecai. I ain't regular, feel like Jordan wearing 45. Traumatized, victimized, seen some of my niggas die. Knock you off a base with a bat when them niggas slide.
What's going on, my people? Welcome to the ultimate breakdown of Steel City Interactive's Undisputed Beta. These are the key points of the video today. We will talk about the positives and negatives, if any, for movement, punches, judging, boxer presentation, and arena atmosphere, knockouts and knockdowns, facial damage, stats and traits, bugs, and the server itself. Without further ado, man, let's get straight into it. Started with movement was everything it was hyped up to be, but where it shines is when you get into the loose movement modifier and master it, which does take time to learn. There is a learning curve to this game. Movement actually feels like there's weight to the fighter, and you really feel like your fighter's shifting their weight around with every step. So you really need to be aware of how fast you're going forward, how fast you're going backward, and side to side, because if you're rushing forward to get in front of somebody and immediately try to move back, it's not going to happen as fast as you think, because your weight is already shifted forward. So taking gradual steps to get to your target and understanding the distance is going to be key in this game, and it shows. If you master your movement patterns and loose movement patterns, you can become really good at not getting hit and floating like a butterfly while stinging like a bee. With marquee fighters like Lomachenko, Fury, Usyk, and others being mocapped by themselves, you really will have to try to master new boxes each time, and once you do, you can become a real threat. When you are in the loose footwork modifier, you are definitely a tad faster thanks to being on the balls of your toes than in standard movement, which you are more, I guess you could say, flat-footed than anything, but you still definitely have to be aware of where your weight is being shifted so you can maximize your movement and not get stuck somewhere you don't want to be, like in front of your opponent getting teed off on because you decide to rush forward with all your momentum on your front foot. Now you're trying to backpedal, but you really can't do that because you're already in the process of moving forward, getting teed off on, boom, 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 and you're moving back, but it's not as fast. Because let's be real, try moving forward fast, and then try back up fast, and don't do that on the balls of your foot. Do that being flat-footed, so you'll definitely be a lot slower. You can also, well, if you guys didn't know, you can change your movement patterns by pressing up on the D-pad. So you have standard movement, which is your basic movement. Clicking up on the D-pad will give you the ability to go into loose movement. You also got the ability to sidestep, step forward, step to the sides, step back, pivot to your opponent's side off of a counter to really get some good shots in. I've done that a few times, and in this clip I was facing Fight Night's Finest, which is an amazing boxer, an amazing player, I should say. He dominated Fight Night for a very long time, so this is as high as it can go, I feel. But let's stay on topic. Mastering the art of cutting off the ring with your loose movement can also be crucial. Dude, I cannot tell you how many times I use loose footwork to cut off the ring off of a standard moving opponent and completely demolish his body and head. This is going to be amazing with guys like Canelo Alvarez, Virgil Ortiz, who is both in the game, just so you guys know. So pressure fighters, you guys can rejoice because movement can work to your advantage if you use it correctly. Cutting off the ring is a huge thing if you do it right. Obviously, it's a big thing in real boxing. Cutting off the ring, getting your opponent against the ropes, getting your opponent against the corner, and landing your shots. Also, since you have no punch tracking in the game, you can simply move certain directions without slipping shots traditionally, with like the press down on the trigger and move side to side, traditional move slipping. So you can slip punches without moving your head off the center line traditionally to move out the way of punches. punches really do feel like they are missing by inches and maybe even centimeters. That's why understanding distance and understanding movement patterns is going to be huge in this game. And it like I said before, it shows. It definitely shows. So you guys really got to be on point with your movement and taking the lead foot. You can take the lead foot and land those punches, and your opponent would miss his if you take the lead foot. I've seen that plenty of times. So be aware of that when it comes to the movement. I don't really have nothing bad to say about the movement, other than there were times where I would go in front of my opponent and I would feel heavy, like I'm stuck. I'm pretty sure that's a glitch or a bug. Definitely not intended, because it happened in some games and other games it didn't. So be aware of that. Now let's get into the next topic. Alright, now punches. Let's talk about the positives of punches first. So stiff jabs. Stiff jabs are able to stop players in their tracks and keep advancing opponents at bay if they're not blocked, obviously. So I got this a lot because half the time I was facing spammers and guys that were fighting as if this was Fight Night or UFC. They were going forward, they weren't really doing much, and they were treating it as such. And I would throw a stiff jab at them and step back, stiff jab, boom, step back, and then also throw my right straight over the top and crack them, and it will give them an animation that stops them, in their tracks. And it's really, really useful if you weren't using your stiff jab to get that stopping power, then you were missing out big time. You were missing out big time. There was a couple times where if you use counter shots, you can get a stopping power animation, if you want to call it that. So there's that. Check hooks were amazing too when timed as a counter and can be used for offense and defense. What I mean by that is, if you're close to mid-range and you throw a check hook while your opponent throws, let's say, a straight or a jab, you would crack your opponent with the check hook, pivot off to his side, and you can demolish any part of the body you want to demolish. It's a great way to attack while being on the defensive end. Also, you can punch while moving in different directions. You will get a new animation, I think, each time too. If you jab left, he will jab while moving out to his left. This is a good way to create good angles and opens up opportunities if your opponent throws and you move out. If you move from the punch. So if you were throwing punches while moving out to your side, like if you're throwing a jab and you're moving out to your left, he will throw like a stepping jab. He will step out to his left and throw that jab. That's also a good way if you are trying to get the lead foot on somebody. You can use that stepping jab or a step straight. Anything you want. It definitely works. It definitely works from what I've seen. Body shots was very impactful also. If you hit your opponent's body while he throws, you can knock off a good chunk of stamina if timed correctly. The best time, use the body shot. If you're not using the body shot, then you're not playing the game right. This is boxing. You gotta land body shots. If you want to win in the later rounds, if you want to take your opponent into deep waters, move forward, get the reactions, let them throw a little bit, crack the body as their stamina starts to drop a little bit, and you will get some amazing results. And the body punches looked good too. The body punches looked good, except for the straight and the jab to the body, I believe. I know the backhand to the body didn't look too good. The modified backhand to the body looked good. It looked like he was actually digging into that punch. So that was really good. The jab, overall the straights to the body, when you're throwing light straights to the body, it just looked weird because you were kind of upright. You were still upright while throwing punches downward. It was weird. So they definitely need to get on that and fix that. Let's see. Loose movement gives you different punch animations. If not, I don't know what the fuck that is. All right, let's skip that one. I kind of messed up my notes a little bit. I'm doing this on the fly, so just so you guys know. Modified punches had weight behind them, but needed to be timed correctly because of how slow they were. This is true. This is true. Kind of like, it was kind of like 50-50. Sometimes I felt the modified punches were fast. Other times I felt like the modified punches were slow. I don't know what the inconsistency was with that. I might be mistaken, but I know my right straight with Gotti was pretty fast. If I'm not mistaken, it was pretty fast. It was pretty fast. But all the definitely the hooks and the uppercuts were super fucking slow. Super slow to get to the target. You actually had to, man, I had to really time those shots because they were just so slow. But let's go on to the next one. Combinations flowed really well, and you can perform combinations with any punches to create unique attacks. Okay, and being able to feint punches is very important to keep your opponent on his toes. Lower rated fighters mocap actually looks like lower rated fighter animations, which is good because you cannot have awesome animations and techniques on low rated fighters that are like lower than 80 or 70s. I definitely saw this with Terry Harper. Terry Harper had some decent animations. I know she actually mocapped herself. We saw that in a video by Steel City Interactive. But Sophie Alish, terrible animations. I hated her animations, bro. It really looked amateur. And if she did her animations herself, then that's fine. You know, that's fine. If she mocapped that herself, then cool. That's her real life self. That's how she fights. So can't knock that. And she's a 70 overall, somewhere around a 70 overall. So definitely appropriate for low rated fighters. Now let's get to the next one. Since there is no tracking for punches or invisible wall in the game, you really have to time your shots and know your distance to land meaningful shots or non-meaningful shots, such as like the fast jabs and light straights. Nothing crazy, just trying to gauge your distance. Everything is physics based, so you really have to think about the distance and where the head and body is going to be effective, especially if your opponent is good at loose movement, which makes it harder to land flush unless you time the movement and cut the ring or get close. But even then, a good movement player will be hard to hit, which is realistic. I fought really good movement players. Fight Night's Finest was his movement was on point in the beginning of the rounds, and he was sidestepping, he was moving correctly to get out of the way of my punches and landing big punches in return. So that's that. You really need to be on your P's and Q's when it comes to movement and punches. There is no head tracking, there is no body tracking. Everything is physics based. You really need to use your brain to land your shots. Unless you guys are both spammers and you guys want to just get into a dogfight, fucking drag them out war, then yeah, you're not really gonna have that issue. You're just gonna be fucking hitting each other to the head and body if you guys are close together. So alright, let's talk about the negatives when it comes to punches. Modified straight punch to the head looks more like an overhand, so that needs to be worked on. Every time I threw the right hand that was modified, the modified right hand, it looked more like an overhand than anything. I want more of those whipping straights. You guys know what I'm talking about. The straights that Tommy Hearn used to throw that were just straight down the pipe, landed flush on the mouth or the chin. Those type of shots. but in the game it kind of looked like they were overhands than anything. Not like big looping overhands, but like kind of like over the top. I don't know how to explain it, man. I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't look like a straight to me. To me, it didn't look like it. It didn't look like it at all. We need dedicated punches while we are at an angle in 360 movement to create even more opportunities for attack. So you guys know what I mean by that. With 360 movement, you were able to use the 360 movement and throw punches while slipped to your side in Fight Night Champions. I remember being able to duck down a little bit to my left and being able to throw my jab going upward to my opponent's head or to my opponent's body. So we definitely need that dedicated slipping shots, like actual proper slipping shots. That way, so we can create, you know, better attacks, be more elusive and shit like that. Let's go to didn't see the ability to throw overhands except for moving back. I could be mistaken, but I didn't see it. Yeah, I definitely saw that you being able to throw the overhand wasn't there, other than the time where you were moving backwards and they would like throw a fast looping overhand while moving back. I want to be able to throw some overhands over my opponent's guard while standing straight or going forward. Give me the ability to throw an overhand going forward. I want to really dig into those shots while moving forward or stepping forward. Stepping shots. I think there was stepping shots, but still, I'm talking about the overhand. But let's get on to the next point. In one match, I landed 106 power punches on my opponent, and not once did I rock my opponent. That cannot happen. It just cannot. We need more damage on certain shots at certain times. But when I wrote that, I didn't know that the devs disabled flash knockdowns and flash KOs. So I do believe that's why those shots weren't dropping my opponent or hurting my opponent as frequently. But still, like, overall, I need to be able to rock my opponent. If I'm landing 106 power punches, dude, I forgot. I need to pull it up on screen. I don't think I got the screenshot though, but if I do, you'll see it. I was definitely landing so many power shots on my opponent, and they were just eating them, bro. 106 power punches, bro. That's ridiculous, dude. That cannot happen, bro. I'm telling you, that cannot happen. So hopefully when, you know, they drop the flash KOs, flash knockdowns, it's gonna be a lot better. Alright, this is my last point for the negatives on punches. When punches land on opponents before their punch lands, there's not much of a punch interruption or punch misdirection. There should be a percentage of how much punch interruptions or punch misdirections happen when you land your punch first while their punch is coming out. And real quick, no, I'm not saying they should miss their shots outright, but at certain stages of the punch animations, there should be a certain percentage of interruptions that misdirects their punch when my punch lands first and their punch is coming out. So if I land my punch right when my opponent starts to throw theirs and my punch lands, that shot should whiff, because I just hit my opponent, got them unbalanced, you know, fucked up their whole balance and everything that they were planning, and that punch should be misdirected. I want to see more of that, because if they add that, it's gonna make the gameplay a lot better, because there was times that I didn't really see much of punch interruptions or misdirections, whatever you want to call it. So they definitely need to get that on point. The only time I really saw it was when I was landing body shots and they were like hunching over it, but but I think that was more stopping power than anything. But yeah, man, that's all I got for punches. So let me see what else we got. Oh, let's go to judging. Let's go to that real quick. When it comes to judges, we all know that there's 3 judges scoring the fight. Steel City Interactive have 40 fictional judges, and 3 out of those 40 will be judging the fight. And it is true, every single one of them will see the fight differently, or the same, based on certain things that they are looking for and the judges that you are getting. So every judge will have a preference on how the fight is scored and things they are looking for in the fight. You can be outright robbed. You could be outright robbed, bro. I seen this happen with with Showbiz the adult. He posted a video on how he got robbed. It was supposed to be a draw, but I don't know what the hell happened, and they ended up giving it to his opponent, which was pretty fucking funny. You can get robbed, get a majority decision, split decision, or even a unanimous decision, as it is in real life. Obviously, if you're winning convincingly, you will definitely get the nod, but as the saying goes, never leave it to the judges, because you might be on the wrong side of a robbery or a majority decision. Once Steel City Interactive implements flash knockdowns and flash knockouts in early access, you'll be able to take it out of the judges' hands. So no worries, but just remember, quality boxing will always get you the W. Always. That's my new saying. Quality boxing is gonna get you the W every single time, man. Whether it's movement, punches, distance, whatever the case is, quality boxing is gonna always get you the W, no matter what judge you have. But let's get into the next topic, man. Now to boxer presentation and atmosphere. I was running this game on a RTX 3080 on 4K ultra settings, and it looked and ran beautifully. From the lighting illuminating the areas of the arena, to the dark back sections of the arena where the light does not shine, down to Arturo Gotti's custom shorts, Cleto Reyes gloves, loud roar of the crowd, and the walk down the tunnel to get to the ring was all fantastic to see, man. It really was. I do hope to see the fans waving their favorite fighter's flag. Like, you know how the Mexicans get down, bro. The Mexicans, when Canelo fights, bro, they're waving big ass Mexican flags. They're going crazy. So I hope to see something like that, something to that effect in this game later down the road. Also, security around the ring. I did see it in previous gameplays. They weren't in the beta from what I seen, but I do hope to see them come back too. And various crowd chants. I really do hope to see the crowd chanting certain chants, singing, to highlight what it truly feels like to be in a certain region of the world, and what it feels like to be supported by your fans, and what it feels like to be hated by your opponent's fans. So I really do hope to see that. Now, the arena was more of an amateur style arena, more like an underground style arena, but it was beautifully crafted. Especially if you play it on 4K, it looks phenomenal. And I cannot wait to see what big style arenas are gonna look like and big stadiums are gonna look like. I really do hope that they recreate Cowboy Stadium, or damn, what's the other one? There's a stadium in England, man. I forgot what the hell it's called, but it's a big one. But you guys will let me know in the comments what that arena is. I forgot what it's called. But I was also playing this game at 100 frames a second, which ran like butter if the servers weren't crapping out. When the servers weren't crapping out and they weren't tweaking, the frames were spot on. The coaches and the ref were present, but did not do much during the lead up to the first bell, which I do hope changes for the sake of immersion. They were kind of just staring at space at times, did not accompany you to the middle of the ring for the ref's final instructions. So I really do want to see that come into play. I really hope they bring more life into the ref and to the coaches, especially when they when you hit the corner, like between rounds. I really do hope that they become a little bit more lively. They're wiping your face with a towel, putting ice on the back of your neck. I really do hope to see those kind of things. I hope in between rounds it becomes a little bit more cinematic. Now the tail of the tape, it looks clean, bro. I really like the tail of the tape. It really does look clean. You get to see you get to see the venue name, and that looks clean also, and it highlights, you know, your weight class, you're in, what belt ranking you're fighting at. So WBC welterweight bout, how many rounds, and all the fighter information, you know, all the basic shit that you usually get with the tail of the tape. But since we are playing online, it also showed us our unranked status and what it seems to be a calling card of sorts that we might be able to customize. I'm not fully sure, but it looks like we might be able to customize that. And it shows our online name, our level, our title, if any, and fight record, which you already know your boy is going to be undefeated. You already know this. Probably not, because there's a bunch of killers, but you feel me? But trust me, I'm definitely coming for everybody. I'm definitely coming for everybody, man. I'm coming for that top spot, so everybody's been warned. But let's get into the next topic, man. Now we're talking about facial damage, and I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't really like the facial damage too much in the game. I mean, yeah, there were some cuts on certain sides of the face, more on the sides of the eyebrows, but I was hoping for more damage, especially when I was punching, you know, the nose, the lips. I was really hoping for big nosebleeds, maybe busted lip here and there, blood coming from the mouth a little bit, but I didn't see any of those. The facial damage was okay. There was blood dripping down on your chest from the small cuts, and there was bruising. There was bruising on the face of your opponent that you're punching consistently, or, you know, getting punched consistently. Like the whole side of your face would like turn red, and it wasn't a crazy red. It looked like a realistic type of red on flesh. So that was pretty dope. But I was really hoping for, I guess I was hoping for what I seen from them before, their render. I'll pull it up on the screen right now, but I was really hoping for this. Swollen eye, bruising under the eye, something like that. So I'm really hoping that they get that down pat, because I really want them to highlight what boxing is. Yeah, the movement's nice, the punches are nice, and it all looks beautiful, but there's some sort of beautiful destruction when it comes to boxing, and it happens on the person's face. You see it, cuts, nasty cuts, blood just dripping all on the face, down to your shorts, down to the mat, which I did see. I did see the blood go onto the boxing ring, the canvas. I did see that, and I did see the blood dripping on the chest, but it didn't drip onto the shorts, so the shorts were still perfectly fine. So I really hope they get that down. And as you can see in this image right here, my face was fucking busted, bro. My left eye was swollen. The left side of my face was red because I was getting punched consistently on that side. That looks pretty good, right? That looks pretty good. That looks pretty realistic. But I'm hoping for a little bit more. They need to add some more cuts on certain areas of the head. Maybe on the inner eyebrow, where the eyebrow can split. Busted lips. Maybe the nose bleeds, like I was talking about. And if you want to get more realistic, add in broken noses. There's been so many of those. Show off how the nose looks slanted a little bit. Now it's broken, it's bruising up. Your mouth is opening up. You're wiping your face, trying to get the blood out your face. Show that off. I would really like to see that. But on that note, that was pretty much all I had to say on facial damage. It was cool, but I do hope for more. Stats and traits. I felt that stats and traits were appropriate for the boxers that they represented. Arturo Gotti's blood and guts warrior trait gives him a positive and negative effect, as it does with Mickey Ward. So he has traits, but all of them have something positive and something negative about them, which I absolutely love. And I really wonder what Deontay Wilder's bomber trait negativity is gonna be, if any. Traits felt like they were represented. I feel like the traits represented each boxer pretty well for low ranked fighters. I cannot wait to see what other traits they come up with, because the traits really do highlight the negatives and positives of certain boxers, whether it's from punches, increased or decreased cuts, cut chances, and fighters known for catching a second win like Arturo Gatti. And also with Arturo Gatti, when he gets cut, I believe it was 10% increase of cuts, which is realistic, because almost every fight that Arturo Gatti was in, there was him bruising a lot, him getting cut a lot. So that represents him pretty well. And it's crazy because they have to do this with around 300 plus fighters, and we'll get all those fighters during full release. I highly doubt we're gonna get those fighters in early access. I believe they announced that. I think we're gonna have like about 50 plus fighters in early access, but overall in contract they have 300 plus, so they're gonna have to deal with that. Some fighters won't have traits, like Terry Harper and Sophie Alish. They didn't have traits. They had their stats, but they didn't have their traits. And yeah, I not much to talk about with this one. I do feel like these stats are perfect for Sophie Alish. 73 overall. I think Terry Harper had like 74 or 75, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti weren't world beaters. I didn't even think that they were going to be 90 overalls. I thought they were going to be like high 70s at least, but 80s is fine. Low 80s is fine. I'm fine with that. Especially for Terry Harper and Sophie Alish being low 70s. That's perfectly fine with me. But females like the GWOAT, she's going to be, man, dude, she's gonna have a high rating, bro. High speed, not that much power, but her speed, her counter punchability, her movement, all of that's gonna be on point. And I wonder what traits she's gonna have. She's gonna be very. I hope they highlight her gas tank in the early rounds, because she can really put it on you in those early rounds and take over in those early rounds. The late rounds too. Don't get it twisted. The late rounds too, but the early rounds is where she's really dangerous. She'll tee off on you, as we saw in the Savannah Marshall fight. Alright, so knockouts and knockdowns. This one is going to be very brief because there's not much to talk about, because the devs announced that flash knockdowns and flash knockouts were not in the game. Like, traditional knockouts were not part of the game. But you landed. Okay, but when you landed a big shot to drop your opponent, you definitely felt the impact. Especially when you're landing crazy body shots. You can feel the thud, you can hear the thud, and you can see it affecting your opponent. As you can see, look at his stamina. That's rounds of body work. And his stamina's fucking shot, dude. And you're gonna see what I'm about to do to him right now. But yeah, you definitely felt the impact, and they were slumped over and half animation and half ragdoll when you do like drop them. So some of the knockouts were funny and others were like crazy as hell. Knockdown and knockout victims will fall against the ropes and bounce off of it, And yes, you can throw more punches if you want it to be ruthless. I didn't really see much of that. I seen a little bit of it, but if we're talking about like Fight Night champions, oh, he's falling down, let me crack him with like 4 different other shots, then I didn't see that. But because they would like fall pretty fast. But definitely you can definitely like throw a lot more shots. That being said, I definitely believe that the referee counting needs to be better. Like the animation of that needs to be better. To highlight the severity of the KO or knockdown, instead of just standing there counting 1, 2, 3. You know, like most referees will drop to 1 knee. They'll start counting. They'll be in the fighter's face, counting in their face. Are you okay? Are you okay? You know, stuff like that. So I definitely want to see the ref do more of that. Also, give us more knockdown get up animations for different areas of the ring. If I knock my opponent down in the corner, show a knockdown mini game that shows your opponent using the ropes to get up, using the corner to like get up better, and have the ref check his gloves, pull him towards the ref, and have the ref tell the fighter to walk this way, and he does that. You know, just to build that immersion. You need that presentation, you need that immersion to sell it. I think that's the thing in this game. You need to sell it a little bit better. The knockouts and the knockdowns look good, they do, and when the fighter slumps over, it really does look good. They just need to sell it a little bit better. All right, now that we covered all the key points, right? I'm gonna give you my overall thoughts of the game itself. I like the game. I really do like the game. The game was fun. The game was very unique. The movement was solid. The best movement in any combat sports game I've ever played. The game is a diamond in the rough. It's a diamond in the rough, and it has massive potential. It has the potential to be one of the best combat sports games in history. It really does. You can see it, especially when you play it. When you see it, you might not think it. I don't know how to explain it. You might not think it, but when you play it, and you play it smart, because keep in mind, this is a hardcore simulation boxing game. They're not. Yeah, it was on casual mode for the beta, but to its core, it's a hardcore simulation boxing game. And when you play it as such, and you reprogram your mind to play Undisputed, like you get out of the programming of Fight Night and UFC, EA Sports, UFC. When you get out of that programming and you get into this and you reprogram yourself to play Undisputed, it's truly amazing. It's truly amazing. I could see how some people jumping into the beta didn't like it, but I bumped into a lot of people that were playing this game like Fight Night. The only people I played against that weren't playing like it was Fight Night was Fight Night's Finest, the guy Fight Night's Finest, and Mr. Andor, and a few others. But when I played those guys, it was strategic, it was tactical, and you're really trying to beat the other person in various ways other than punches. This game, once they drop the early access, once they implement all the features that they took out, like flash knockdowns, flash KOs, add the immersive mode. The immersive mode is going to be more damage, more realistic gameplay, more realistic stamina, you know, just a realism mode. Once they add that in, once they add the career mode in, dude, it's going to be fantastic, because keep in mind the career mode is going to be crazy in depth. You need a nutritionist, you're going to have a cut man, you're going to have your head coach, you're going to have your Who else you're gonna have? I'm pretty sure you're gonna have like a trainer too. Oh, you're gonna have your manager also. You're gonna have all these, you're gonna have this team that you gotta build around yourself. The zone's gonna be in the game, and lower amateur organizations, but and yeah, amateur organizations. You're gonna have the amateur WBC belt also. So there's a lot to look forward to. But to its core, this game is going to be amazing. Once they get the kinks out, and once they watch all these breakdown videos, they're gonna know what to do. And then they're gonna drop this early access. But overall, this game has massive potential. It might be great in a year. It might be great in 2 years. It might be great in Undisputed 2. Or once full release comes out and you have all 300 fighters, that's when it becomes great. But one thing is for sure, this game is going to be great once they figure everything out. There's no way this game doesn't become legendary. They have the blueprint. They have the foundation. The foundation is there. They just need to iron out some certain things, the animations, the flash knockdowns and knockouts. They need to add the inside boxing. Also, they needed to implement shoves. They need to implement that. So there's a lot of things that they need to implement and fulfill their promises that they made to us, that attracted us to this game. Once they do that, the sky's gonna be the fucking limit for this game. Now, were there bad things about it? Yeah, the server was fucking trash. Oh shit, I didn't even talk about the server and bugs. Fuck it, I'll talk about it right now. But I didn't really see too many bugs. That's probably because I started playing it on Sunday. Because Friday I didn't get a code. And Saturday, I got the code, but I only got to play one game. Sunday, I didn't really see that many bugs because they pretty much updated the game Friday and Saturday a bunch of times. So they probably killed all those bugs. But the server was ass, dude. Straight ass. And it makes me wonder, do they have a fucking US server, bro? Because, dude, it was hard getting into a game. It was really hard getting into a game. But when you do, oh, dude, it's so much fun, man. It's so much fun. It's when you start to see, like, guys just going in front of each other, just throwing punches, it looks terrible. It looks terrible. But when you're boxing smart, when you're getting into those brawls sometimes, and you're picking your shots, pivoting, using your check hook, bro, it's clean, bro. You guys don't understand. You guys don't understand, bro. The people that haven't played this game, you guys don't understand, dude. This game is gonna be fantastic, and it was fun. It was fun too. For it being a beta, it was cool. It was cool. I fucked with it. But I'm expecting this game to be early access. I do expect this game to be, all the features implemented. Career mode we'll get later on, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this game has massive potential, and it's a diamond in the rough for sure. For sure, it has the foundation. Now they just need to build the walls and put the roof on top. They cannot fail this. They cannot fail this. If they do, then wow. But so far so good, man. They just need to keep going. Keep listening to the community, and don't lose what made us attracted to the game. Hardcore simulation boxing. Quality boxing getting you the... But yeah, man, I mean, that's my overall thoughts. And those were all the key points. I do hope for the best when it comes to this game. I really do. Because we haven't had a good boxing game in about 10 years. Fight Night Champions was cool. It was cool. But for the guys that love hardcore, like we're hardcore fans of boxing, we always wanted a simulation boxing game. You guys can have the casual mode. That's fine. Have the casual mode. But the fans, the hardcore fans, they're gonna be there forever, bro. They're gonna be there forever. Guys like myself, guys like Boxing Movement and many others, we're gonna be there forever, bro, supporting this game if they give us the immersion mode. That's what they're touting it, the immersive mode, the immersiveness of boxing. So I can't wait for that. The sky's the limit for sure, for sure. But that's all I got for you guys, man. This was a long fucking video, and if you watch the full video, you're a fucking trooper, bro, because I don't think I would. I don't think I would. Probably, who knows. But yeah, thank you so much. All of you stay safe, stay strong. Much love, bro. Much love, and thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share this. It's gonna help out the channel a lot, and it's gonna help me a lot too. You guys have no idea how much it's gonna help me, but I appreciate every single one of you. Till next time, man. Peace.
Show them that it's possible to live out your own dreams and go against the logical. I was down till a voice said I believe in you. My mama used to say, yeah, daddy, I could see in you.